Yeah, I think what you're speaking to right now is also like that's a beautiful part of the circling is the vulnerability of the leader. And, you being somebody that's done this practice for such a long time, and still there are moments where you're at your edge, or there's moments where you're vulnerable, or there's moments where there's something that you're being triggered, or somebody's seeing something about you that you're not seeing. And I've experienced that during the SAS, and there's just something very profound about having a leader that can kind of be on the same level as you, and like very human and very vulnerable. And it's not like I've been practicing this for so long and it's like I got the one up on you. So I have all the skills and you don't have the skills, and I'm just going to always feel dominant in this position. There's just something about the practice that when it's done, when you're open to it, it just kind of leads you to all of these places and these edges and these territories. And you might feel like really like terrible, like if I'm leading a circle or whatever, and I'm just like, oh, I'm scattered right now and I don't feel good, and like I don't even know how to lead this. And it's like that's welcome and that's part of it. And that, like, I remember there was a session we had with you, and forgot, like you were like rushing or something like that, and you're like, oh, I'm just not here, or I'm not grounded, and I was like drinking my shake, or I was like rushing to get the food down and it's still not like digested. And it was like that moment I was like, wow, I actually feel so connected to John, and that vulnerability, like there's just that like just human level. It's not like, oh, I'm looking up to John or something. You don't see that in a lot of different communities and other practices and a lot of stuff. It's always like, somebody's the guru, somebody's the teacher. And I love that circling has that beginner's mind element. No matter how good you get, there's always that beginner's mind piece.
Yeah, I love how you describe it. And there's something about that just feels like real. Like it's that horizontal quality just feels so relaxing for me and like humbling, and like the truth, like how could it not be that in the bigger scheme of things? Like
It's funny because I think like I noticed this, and I think other people during the training would notice, like if a facilitator's there and they're watching, it's like, oh, the facilitator's watching, or the trainer's watching, and it's like somebody that's higher up is watching, like, and I have to be on point or whatever. And then as you do the practice and you see the trainer's vulnerability, it's just like we're all just here, just what's emerging, and it kind of takes the pressure off, at least for me. Like once I let go of that, like, oh, John's just here with me on the same level, on this heart to heart. I don't know, it just changed it for me.
yeah, and people realize like, oh, I can share that thing. Like, oh yeah, I am being affected by the leader, and I'm putting them on a pedestal, and like, oh, that's really alive in me, and like, oh, I wish that wasn't there. Oh, I can share this as well. Like that's what's alive somehow. So I can bring that, I can explore it, and it just lights me up feeling the organic nature of this and like where we can go as a group. I mean, I've been leading it really regularly for 9 or 10 years now, and I still love it. Like I'm still filled with excitement going to do it with every group, because we do go to new places, and it seems to, by definition, require me to be on my edge. It's like I can't go through the motions with it. It's like I have to surrender fully each time, and for the leader of surrendered leadership, like that's because I'm starting to teach that more and more. It's like you have to, yeah, is it okay if everyone walks out on you during this workshop and you give refunds to anyone? That might be a thought experiment for you, because if you're not, then you're not fully surrendered. Like, is it okay that you might get an insight that really tells you that you should stop leading for a while because of something? It's like it requires that level of letting go every time. And what's so incredible and why we keep doing it, because it still feels experimental, but the results tell us to keep doing it. It's like when we do that and we really let go and kind of let everything wash over us, and we're just that one piece in the collective puzzle, like there is a magic that comes. It's like, and at the end, as you said, like we did it together, everyone did it. but everyone is super satisfied and something greater has been born. Yeah.